If you're watching this video, I assume this is not your first time hearing of Brawl Stars. You may know a friend who plays it, or perhaps likely play it yourself. The point is that I don't have to explain how to play the game or what it's about. Having said that, I would like to ask you what you think of this.
Help people with baby shark, their legacy will never end.
Okay, that may have caught you off guard, but it's important you understand that what you just witnessed could become one of the possible futures in Brawl Stars. The best way to understand how this is one of the problems that plague Brawl Stars is by asking yourselves, how on earth did we get here? If you take a look at Brawl Stars from release, it is drastically different. It's like heaven and hell. While on the surface it may look better, and actually it probably is, this problem has also grown alongside it, and has grown in more ways than one. Do you see this? How can you look at that and say it's perfectly normal? Now, this video is not here to convince you to put your phone down and go touch some grass, but if you hear me out, you too will undeniably convince you that Brawl Stars will inevitably collapse. Possibly. Real quick, before we continue though, I would like to point out that I don't actually know what to call the current problem in Brawl Stars. For lack of a better word, I'll just call it Kidification or brain rotification from now on. That's it for my long ass but perfectly crafted intro, so without further ado, let's dive right in. I just realized that Brawl Stars had this problem when I one day realized that a significantly large amount of the Brawl Stars player base were kids below 10 years old, which is surprising considering Brawl Stars has a minimum age rating of 9+ on the App Store. I also found out that while very unlikely, you are able to get temporarily banned by Supercell if they find out that you lied about your age when registering your account, as it is technically a violation of Supercell's terms and services, since there are some features that are directly locked under the age of 16, such as club and public team chat. While kids generally playing Brawl Stars might be a good thing for the game itself, as having more players is never bad, it has certainly had a negative effect on my Brawl Stars YouTube recommended. With unhinged videos clearly targeted at children, with clickbaits that are obviously fake, and YouTube Shorts content farm with just garbage content with very low effort. This had apparently made its way onto other social media such as TikTok from what I've seen. Also, while researching, I find out that the word brain rot was declared as the Oxford Word of the Year for 2024. That is absolutely ridiculous. Before we get into how Brawl Stars may or may not become a kiddie playpool, similar to how people often affiliate Roblox kids or Fortnite kids to their respective games,
I've played these games before.
We have to consider that Brawl Stars is a long-standing game, released in 2017, almost over 8 years ago. So to understand how Brawl Stars got to this point, we will at least have to start off at a point before signs of the brain rotification began. Even though Roblox and Fortnite, well, at least Fortnite, used to be games that were all respected and had a wide influence with memes, content creators that were not targeted at small children, and a big presence overall, have all fallen into a bad state, where even the mention of the name can get you perceived by other people as cringe. So, worryingly enough, as Brawl Stars seems to be failing into this pattern, we're going to jump right into this video to hopefully convince you that if nothing is done, Brawl Stars may await the same fate. Recently, Brawl Stars has made a comeback around almost 2 years ago, getting its most active players in a long time. But what was stopping it from becoming as popular as it is today? Well, before Brawl Stars, Clash Royale was all the buzz, with it stealing most of the spotlight not only from Brawl, but from its neighbors Clash of Clans and Heyday, and Boom Beach. Clash Royale was massive at the time. It gave rise to many content creators and attracted a wide range of audiences. Everyone was playing it. People at the mall, in the bus, kids at school. It was so popular that everyone and their grandma knew the term Mega Night.
Super combos with a brand new twist. Peloton on it with a massive hits on a well-equipped. Oh, mini pack of punch, one punch.
However, due to many unpopular pay-to-win additions to the game, including evolutions, tower troops, and a lot of other features that were locked behind a paywall for most players, as well with some other community controversies, Clash Royale began getting a lot of hate, even from some of its most loyal players and content creators. Things looked bleak for Clash Royale, and since nothing major was done, it went towards a rapid decline in popularity, leading it to become irrelevant from the App Store to social media and people's lives. However, from its ashes, a new game rolled around, ready to fill in the void left by Clash Royale and to loot your credit card, Brawl Stars. I would like to mention that Clash Royale was never actually kidified, and had nothing to do with its downfall. If anything, Clash Royale made sure to repel all the toddlers away from its doorstep, and if implemented right, some aspects could be incorporated into Brawl Stars. See, since Clash Royale is a lot more strategy heavy, it didn't appeal to children as much as other games such as Brawl Stars. Combined with a few other factors, for example, Clash Royale was released much earlier. Meaning, even if children played it during its release or even midway through, by the time it was super popular, most of its established fanbase, they would be older than when they started. Hence, making sure that their fans were older than the amount of fingers on one hand. Another factor that actually even contributed to its downfall that differs from Brawl Stars is that Clash Royale was too complicated, with certain one-on-one interaction constantly changing with balance changes and evolutions and tower troops, especially complicating everything. In Brawl Stars, that would be the equivalent of, for example, changing the amount of health, the heist, and the power cube boxes had constantly, or changing the range and speed of brawlers, all key factors to take into consideration if you're attempting to maximize your chances of winning by strategizing. Now, moving away from the past, some might still be wondering, in what way is Brawl Stars kidified? Well, there are many answers to that. I'm not just throwing around allegations. First of all, let's look at some of Brawl Stars' official marketing, created by the absolute best professionals.
Say hi.
Do you see what I'm talking about here? I mean, these ads are comparable to those other horrendous mobile game ads that are quite infamous actually. I remember it got to a point where MatPat from Game Theorist covered the topic, and now Brawl Stars has stooped to that level. Some of Brawl Stars ads in question have those fake-ass AI voices.
Shelly is an awesome brawler with decent damage output and super fast speed.
That's the sound that makes me want to cry. Another example of official Brawl Stars Kidification are in some of its products. This might seem like a stretch, but if you stop to think about it, you can tell that some of these products look as if they were toys targeting and made for children. Inside the game, I have already mentioned some examples such as Poop Spike and the Baby Shark update. These two were mostly found annoying before anything by some people, and I can understand that. Regarding Poop Spike, it was considered unfunny by actual mature players over the age of 10, but also a letdown as a skin. If you compare it to the skins from the Chinese version of Brawl Stars, which, yes, there is an official version of Brawl Stars and Supercell games, Poop Spike trembles in his boots when faced with some of the absurd skins from there. Granted, that includes most other skins, but it angered people to see Supercell put their efforts in something silly like Poop Spike, when they could be making skins like the Chinese version. Similar to how Minecraft players got mad at the Mojang devs for putting once every half moon and adding only 1 out of the 3 mobs from the mob vote. But that's besides the point. The second part, El Baby Shark Primo, is quite easy to understand why it's hated. The words Baby Shark is alone to give certain people brain aneurysms, and is quite clearly childish.
Let's go hunt.
I could imagine a scenario of a kid opening Brawl Stars for a quick game on their school bus, only to be greeted by Baby Shark blasting from their speakers in front of all their friends. Now, in itself, all these issues we talked about, the ads, the products, and the updates in-game, don't pose a problem fundamentally. Just leave some players irritated, but it harms its image. It makes the game less appealing to new audiences, and makes existing players more reluctant to play the game or associate with it. From the beginning, Brawl Stars was never truly seen as a prestigious game, being a 3D bird's-eye view mobile shooter game. There are many shooter games that are more respected per se. Call of Duty is one I can think of at the top of my head. It's a multiplayer game. It doesn't have the charm of single-player games like storytelling, among other things. For example, if you exclude console and PC single-player games, there are many popular classic single-player games that are loved by all to this day, such as Angry Birds, Plants vs. Zombies, and Geometry Dash, to name a few. Even Clash Royale and Clash of Clans, which are both multiplayer games from Supercell, same as Brawl Stars, have never been looked down upon or stooped as low as Brawl Stars. Sure, they may also cater to children to some extent, but nowhere near to the extent that Brawl Stars had, despite them being around for longer. It wasn't always like this either. One of the most popular videos on the official Brawl Stars channel is No Time to Explain, and I'm fairly sure that this advertisement was the one used for its global launch. I remember seeing this ad myself, and as you can see, it's completely well adjusted, completely different to some of the other Brawl Stars ads. In contrast to a lot of the Brawl Star content creators for children nowadays, back then there seemed to be a proper stable community, which luckily is still present amidst the chaos with some iconic creators such as OJ, Karos Time, Lex, and many others. And that's excluding the competitive and pro players that have also constantly remained active. Of course, I'm not talking about those brain-rot YouTube shorts though, with top 5 plays in Brawl Stars. If you ask me, I would say this all started after the comeback Brawl Stars made from the fall of Clash Royale that we talked about before. However, I would be lying if I said that it was all bad. Brawl Stars have been putting in a lot of effort, and it can mostly be seen in their collabs, which all started from the Godzilla event last year. After all, the idea of doing collabs is not a bad thing, and lately, the way that Brawl Stars has implemented it is great. A crossover between different franchises always sparks interest, and previously had only been used within the Supercell games with each other, usually only as skins. While sure they may have technically been other collabs before, such as Line Friends, or with some real-life events such as that one time they collabed with PSG, and of course, the catastrophic Baby Shark event, ever since the Godzilla event and all subsequent crossovers have been on a completely different level, with each having custom events, music skins, and even new game modes and unique features. From a pure gameplay standpoint, these collabs are great, adding a lot of new content into the game. Even so, traces of Brawl Stars kidifying the game is evident. While the Godzilla event was amazing, and it was obviously a Godzilla crossover, there were new Power Ranger skins for Brock. In this particular case, I actually didn't have a problem with this at all, as it was only skins, and they were actually kind of cool. While sure, Power Rangers is technically a kid's thing, it's not like it's Brawl Stars trying to desperately appeal to children like with a Baby Shark event. Those Power Ranger skins did not contribute a negative impact on the game at all. And the same could be said about the Line Friend skins that Brawl Stars keep adding. However, it's a different thing when Brawl Stars has an entire SpongeBob crossover and Toy Story crossover, which is the latest event at the time of writing the script for this video.
Thank you for sunshine, thank you for rain, thank you for joy, thank you for pain, it's a beautiful day.
While I'm obviously not saying that these events are a bad thing, I wouldn't say it's hard to see where I'm coming from. I love the South Park crossover with Eric Cartman as Lou, and I haven't met anyone who dislikes the fact that they added JoJo's Bizarre Adventure into Brawl Stars. Though of course, it just had to be locked behind that unreachable Brawl Pass. The point I want to make is that I don't want Brawl Stars to overdo it in attracting children. Yes, continue making collabs by all means, and sure you can add one or two childish or ridiculous things, but in moderation. As I've said before, I think the Kidification started after Brawl Stars made a comeback, and I think they're appealing to children in order to not fall back into the shadows, just like Clash Royale. But if it goes too far over the edge and steps into brain rot territory, it will end up as such regardless. I mean, it's already resembling Fortnite with all the different collabs it's doing, and to be honest, other than the clickbait content and the memes that have always been around, I haven't seen Brawl Stars in the spotlight at all. All I've seen is Marvel Rivals, which seems to be the new buzz these days, and unfortunately, more brain rot.
You thought Shade is broken? Nah. Introducing the newest all-in-one brawler, Shello, Nito, Colto, Bull, Brock, El Primo, Barlow, Poco, Grosso, Jesso, Dynamite, Tick, 8-Bit, Rico, Daryl, Penny, Carlo Jackson, Enzo, Stu, Pip, Aero, Pam, Frank, BBB, Nanny, Edward, Body, Bell, Ash, Lola, Sam, Mandy, Macy, Hank, Paolo, Lorenzo, Berry, Shane, Mortis, Tyrant.
We'll talk about him later. You can also get negative star drops, which can give you rewards like brawlers, coins, gadgets, and even Skibidi Daryl.
Finally, I want to say that while I did start this video with a pessimistic view and a generally negative outlook in the direction Brawl Stars is heading, while researching and watching Brawl Stars content, I realized that it's not too bad, all bad. My belief was that anything brain-rotted would harm Brawl Stars and eventually join the ranks of those with the likes of Roblox. But admittedly, it seems to have actually benefited the community in some ways. Now, I'm not talking about the Skibidi toilet or any of that lobotomy content. The best example I can think of is when Danny from Clash Royale joined the Brawl Stars team. There was a huge meme which involved using this AI version of Danny doing this. At the beginning, I thought this was disastrous, and for some reason, it reminded me of the Joker from Batman. But it was actually echoed throughout social media, and in the end, it was actually a positive thing for Danny, as it was treated as a sign of acceptance from the community. In the end, I would say that the Kidification is not necessarily a bad thing if done in moderation, and the course that Brawl Stars is taking now, while dangerous, could drive the game to new heights, outshining all the others. Well guys, that's the end of this video. Consider liking or subscribing. It's free, and you can always take it back. Feel free to let me know what else you would like to see in the future, and feel free to check out any of my other videos.